So we know that the Super Bowl is in Houston, and we also know that victims will be at this event. So what are some other sporting events that are known to attract human traffickers?
Right. Well, every major sporting event that brings, people to that city is going to have an uptick. The Super Bowl is the worst. I mean, everyone around the world watches the Super Bowl, and you've got all sorts of people coming in, from the wealthy to the not so wealthy, the people that just want to tailgate out the stadium, the people that just want to tailgate in the city, and then you've got the people actually going to be in the event. You've got media, you've got everything you can imagine in the world coming down to wherever the city that the Super Bowl is being hosted in. Obviously, it's Houston this year, and obviously Houston doesn't have the best relationship with human trafficking, so we would love to see that get curbed. Other major sporting events, I mean, anything that is coming to a city that people are looking forward to. The World Series of baseball is one. NCAA, Final Four, anything that is going to bring people is going to bring traffickers too, because there's always a market somewhere. There's always somebody that's willing to compromise their morals at some point because they, for whatever reason. At the same time, it's not always sporting events. There's a major conference for oil and natural gas here in Houston. That is a big one because for a lot of the same reasons. It's wealthy men and women that come down for this, and they're looking for an escape because they're already here. So, there's a lot of ability to get that, especially one thing I didn't mention about Houston's problem is also the fact that Houston is so diverse. So you have all sorts of different ethnicities, and for the most part, they all have a different way to go about it. The reason we have some of these stereotypes, to be fair, are because they are kind of true in this case, where you have Asian day spas, or you have cantinas, where a girl will, have up to like 40 drinks a day, be forced to drink like 40 drinks a day, and however many times a day be with a person. So, and then, you've got just the hotels and all sorts of, the streets and everything else, it's weird, almost as if a lot of people do it, differently, just even, by their own ethnicity. But, as far as going back to your original question of sporting events, any sporting event, any major conference or convention that's going to bring a lot of money and a lot of opportunity is going to bring traffickers to exploit it.
Thank you, guys. So my final question will be, what can I do, what can the community do to support you guys and help end this trend of human trafficking?
So our platform is through education, awareness, and volunteering, and so I think that is universal. Educate yourself on the issue, understand why it happens, how it happens, where it happens, which we've talked about here, so if you're watching this, you're already on track. Awareness would be to spread the word. Tell people, share this video, make a post about it, use the hashtags, What If Houston, Modern Abolitionist Coalition, you can hashtag End It Movement. And then, of course, volunteering, action, super important. We never want to leave that out. So, for example, this Friday, we are going out as an organization to hotels around Houston, and we are going to give them some information about how to recognize a trafficking victim and give them the human trafficking hotline number. That way they can seek help as well. So that's one example. And we mentioned all the different organizations as well. You can get involved with any of those. This is a delicate issue, and so they do often require training, but it's usually not but an hour or so for the training, and then you can get right to work. If you don't want to get like on the streets and stuff talking to solicitors, there are places like A Second Cup, which is a coffee shop, and the profits go to human trafficking victims and efforts to End Human Trafficking, they have like cleanings every other week. If you just want to go and clean their establishment, that would be awesome. They need volunteers. Also, we have a training for health students or people in pre-med, and so we're going to be training them how to spot victims in their actual jobs. And so there are different ways that each person with their profession, with their interests, with their talents, that they can use that to help spread awareness or to volunteer to help back victims as well.
And really quickly, can either one of you talk a little bit more about what's happening this Friday with spreading awareness and going to hotels? How do people get involved with that event?
Right. So that's a MAC event. Modern Abolitionist Coalition, obviously, is who we are, MAC. And so what we're going to be doing is we are already advance calling hotels and getting permission, the okay. And then what we're doing is we're meeting on Friday. We're going to have a short orientation, icebreaker, and then we're going to break off into our own groups. And then each group is going to have a list of hotels, the hotels that have said yes, and they're going to go and give their management these, they're half sheets of paper in English and Spanish translation. And they are for employees that work in lobbies, they are for employees that work in housekeeping, and then there's a different one for employees that work in restaurants and bars. And it's to spot indicators of trafficking. So how to spot victims first, and then how to spot traffickers. And it tells them to, how to work with management. Here's the hotline number. It's not for guests and everybody to see. So, we've talked to many hotels already. We still have many more to talk to in advance of that day. If people want more information, just go to Facebook, Modern Abolitionist Coalition, and our last two posts, unless the last one was our general meeting, then the post before that about Super Bowl event volunteers, there's a Google Drive link. We've sort of set it up like that, where we've got an event description, so exactly what's happening at the event. Then we've got the hotel list with their telephone numbers and addresses, and a call script, and it's color coded so that we know which hotels are already working with us and which hotels we still need to call. So if people want to call, that would be great. And that's pretty much it. So we're gonna go out and have a good time, and just try to spread that information around.
Thank you for taking the time to educate us about human trafficking. A description of all the resources will be in the video below, as well as a link to the Facebook page and a link to other ways that you can get involved with this movement of ending human trafficking. Thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.